Welcome to Mishna study. We're up to Masechet Demai, Perek He Mishna Dalet. Over here, we're going to speak in light of last Mishnah, where we spoke about a person who bought many loaves of bread from a baker. Over here, we're going to see if someone bought bread or different loaves of bread from a distributor, right? A bread distributor. That's what a palter is, right? The nachtom is the baker. The palter is the distributor. ולוקח מן הפלטר מעשר מכל דפוס ודפוס. דברי רבי מאיר. רבי יהודה אומר מאחד על הכל. ומודה רבי יהודה ולוקח מן המנפול שהוא מעשר מכל אחד ואחד. So if someone buys from a palter, as we said, is the person who is distributing, right? Whereas the nachtom, the last Mishnah, was the baker. Over here, this distributor is buying from the baker and he's selling it. Right, so Rabbi Meir says you need to separate maaser from every single mold. We're going to assume that every baker has a single mold, has one type of mold, and when we see, one mold by this distributor, we'll assume it came from one baker, and therefore, according to Rabbi Meir, you're allowed to go ahead. You have to separate one from every single mold. But if it's from the same mold, you could separate one for all those molds. Rabbi Yehuda says, me'achad al hakol, one for everything, right? What's Rabbi Yehuda saying? Rabbi Yehuda says that the baker himself could make many different breads in different types of molds. He's not limited to one shape. The baker himself isn't limited to one shape. And therefore, when we buy, we're going to assume that even multiple shapes that we're buying from a distributor, we're going to assume that the distributor himself bought from one baker. And if we bought from one baker, right, then we're allowed to separate one for everything. Yes. So Rabbi Yehuda is agreeing to, right? Now, Rabbi Yehuda agrees to Rabbi Meir that you need to separate on every single tefus when you buy from a manpol, right? Manpol is someone who sells bread, but he buys it from two different bakers. We know he buys it from two different sources, right? Even in modern Hebrew, it's like a monopol. Monopol, someone has a monopoly. He has a monopoly on the industry, right? He's buying from multiple places. So this person, he's buying from two different places. We know for a fact he's getting it from two different bakers. And therefore, we're going to have to separate for every single one that we buy, right? Because we worry that he may have bought it from two different people. And like we said, you can't separate it from the Yashan on Hadash and Hadash on Yashan. Now, I just point out, Rambam says, if we don't know, right? We don't know who it is, right? Who's selling, where the bread's coming from. Like, imagine if you have 10 people selling bread, and we have 9 people selling bread, and 10 bakers in the town, right? So we know for a fact that at least one of them is getting from a source of 2 bakers, right? Mathematically, right? It's just not going to work out. You have 9 suppliers, right? 9 people are selling, but they're receiving their bread from 10 different bakeries. So at least one of them is receiving from 2 people. So in that case, where there's a safek on every single one, which one of them is buying from 2 people, therefore, if someone buys from one of them, he needs to separate on every single mold, right? Even over there, Rabbi Yehuda would agree, and halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda.